My friend asked me if I wanted to unbox this. However, I have no idea what this character is all about or where this character falls in the Transformers universe. So let's get this out of the package and we'll figure this out together. Welcome back. Here is Transformers Autobot Omega Prime. From Transformers Robots in Disguise from 2001. Part of the HasLab series. He is a combiner comprised of Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. We'll get into some more facts about him in a minute. Before I jump into this, make sure you like and subscribe. This HasLab project got fully backed, and there were a few add-ons that came with this figure. If you don't know how HasLabs works, it's kind of like Kickstarter. It's Hasbro's crowdfunding platform that produces high-end and limited edition collectibles. In order for Hasbro to produce the collectible, they require a minimum number of backers within a set time frame to greenlight the production. With these campaigns, typically there are other tiers that, if met, Hasbro would add additional accessories or figures to the overall package. This figure met all its goals, so it came with 2 global space bridge display stands and a 24-inch Matrix blade weapon. Let's start with the accessories box first. This contains the global space bridge display stands and a third figure that I didn't know was in there. Here is Bluebolts. He combines with Optimus and Ultra Magnus to form Omega Prime, as you will see. We'll get back to him in a few. As for these display stands, they can be used separately for individual figures or combined to create one platform. We also get this little guy. I don't know if he has a name, but he is part of the combiner and also pilots Optimus's battle platform that you'll see in a minute. We'll get back to that shortly. Let's unbox this Matrix Blade weapon. The Matrix Blade is a physical embodiment of the Matrix of Leadership power. This comes in a few parts that you need to assemble. Nothing too crazy. And this thing is huge. And a little on the heavy side. Not sure how this figure is going to be able to hold this, but we'll see. With all of that taken care of, let's get the main events out of the box. Here is Optimus Prime. We are used to seeing him as a semi-truck, but this cartoon took a very different design and direction for Optimus's vehicle mode. I can be a purist sometimes. I grew up with G1 Transformers, and sometimes I have issues with designs straying too far away from their roots, but I kinda like this. Something about it just works for me. And I don't have anything negative to say about it at the moment. This manual, oof, that's a lot. I have limited time with this figure, so I'm going to watch another YouTuber's step-by-step instructional video to make this transformation easier on myself. If you want to see that video to help you transform this, I'll link it down in the description. Per my friend's request, and so we can learn about this character together, here are some facts while I transform this. Omega Prime is a very powerful combiner from the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2001 series, known as Godfire Convoy in the original Japanese version, Transformers Car Robots. Omega Prime is formed by the combination of Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. This makes him a unique brother combiner, stemming from a conflict where Ultra Magnus, resentful of Optimus's leadership, forced the combination to try to seize the Matrix of Leadership. However, they ultimately gain equal control over the combiner form. In the show, Optimus Prime is referred to as the Ultimate Energy Combiner, highlighting his immense power. The Optimus Prime component of Omega Prime is notable for being the first incarnation of Optimus to transform into a fire engine. This alt mode offers unique abilities like a power stream, water cannon, and a versatile ladder that can become a weapon. I do really like the head sculpt for Optimus, however, his tiny feet throw the whole figure for me. I know that is a stupid nitpick thing, but he is super chonky, and then we have these tiny little feet. He does feel more like the G1 Optimus, but very, very boxy, which I'm okay with. I also like the ladder battle station. Most of us grew up with Optimus's trailer, the combat deck, but this thing is pretty cool and something a little different. As I said earlier, I'm a purist, but I find this to be a worthy new variation on an old friend. I would be stoked as a kid to play with this. I don't know where I would find the money for this, but it would be fun to play with. From here, Optimus can combine with his battle station to make what I believe is called Super Fire Convoy or God Fire Convoy. If that's wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm not 100% on that, but that's what my research was telling me. The whole battle station comes apart and snaps onto the smaller Optimus frame. In Japan, Optimus is primarily known as Convoy or Fire Convoy, in the case of the show Robots in Disguise, which he comes from. Regardless, this is an alternate mode for Optimus, and this makes him so much beefier. Getting the ladder in his headpiece to sit right on his frame was a little bit challenging, so just take your time with it. But now that that's all together, let's get him up on the turntable. This is what I think Optimus should be looking like. The other version is wimpy in comparison. This one is at least proportional and quite imposing. If you can't get him standing squarely on the ground for some reason, his ladder helps him from toppling over, which is a nice feature. But this really commands presence, and I like it a lot. Let's take a quick stopover and look at Bluebolts before we move over to Ultra Magnus. There isn't a lot to say about this character. He's pretty simple, but I do like the design of this figure. He teamed up with Ultra Magnus as his personal universal weapon and also mounts to Omega Prime as a shoulder-mounted weapon system. When he transforms into the universal weapon, he features a laser cannon, a Gatling gun, and 2 smaller missile barrels. If not being used that way, he can also break down into single weapons that can be used. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's get to Ultra Magnus. This version of Ultra Magnus is a car carrier, as you can see. He's had a few different looking vehicle modes over the years depending on which iteration, but for the most part, he's always been some form of vehicle carrier transport. In vehicle mode, this thing looks pretty sweet. A real solid design, and that front grille is mean looking. Alright, let's get into the transformation. A central part of Omega Prime's origin story in Robots in Disguise is Ultra Magnus's deep-seated resentment and jealousy towards Optimus Prime. Magnus believed he should have been the leader and bearer of the Matrix of Leadership. This led him to forcibly combine with Optimus Prime and steal the Matrix power. However, instead of taking control, the fusion resulted in a shared consciousness and power, with both Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus having equal control over Omega Prime. This shared control becomes the source of tension and growth for both characters throughout the series. This was not a very difficult transformation. Pretty straightforward. He is a very large figure. As you can see, I use one of the bases with the additional stand. It's not really needed, he's pretty sturdy on his own. I just thought I'd use it to show you how it looks. Also, here he is with Bluebolts in his combined weapon form. My beef with this figure though is he is so blocky. His legs have very little posability. The lower part of his legs don't bend at all. He is part of a larger figure, so I can't be too overly critical of that. If this was mine, he wouldn't be displayed like this anyways. So let's get to the star of the show and combine these two to make Omega Prime. First of all, you have to take all the accessories off Optimus and get him back to the base figure. I had to strategically plan this video, so I only had to do things one time. Once everything is off, you then can initiate the handshake that allows the two to combine. It's kind of like the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z. The way they designed this, Magnus's hand wraps around Optimus's hand, and then his thumb fits into the hole. Let the transformation begin. Again, if you would like the step-by-step transformation video, I'll link it down in the show notes. To get this all fitted and snapped into place for the first time, it was a little frustrating. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. If I had longer to sit with this, I would have transformed it a few times before making this video, which would have made this a lot easier. Once you have the two of them combined together, you can add Bluebolts on the top as the primary weapon system mounted right above his head. After that, the last thing to do is give him the Matrix Blade, and Omega Prime is together. I will start off by saying that Matrix Blade, for how cool it is, isn't a practical accessory. He can barely hold it. If it's not touching the ground, it absolutely needs to be held with both hands. It would just spin his hand around otherwise, and it's too heavy for his arm. That aside, this Omega Prime combiner from HasLab is quite nice. It's big, so make sure you have a place to put it if you're getting one. It's going to take up some shelf space. They did a great job with both of these figures separately, but when they come together, it's even better. I was also reading that there was a way to add all of the extra pieces from Optimus that were shed to combine onto Optimus Prime. I saw some images with the latter piece attached. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to figure all that out. Since this is a HasLab creation, these are only available on the secondary market now, since this came out last year. The lowest I found was about $300. They get much higher from there. This Transformers series sounds quite interesting, and I may go watch it and catch up on some Transformers lore that I didn't know about. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.